Okay, this video today is going to be on spark plug change on a 2012 C300 Mercedes with the 3-liter V6. To get started, you want to remove your first top cover here. Get that out of your way. Remove these vents. Pretty easy. You might need a screwdriver to help it along, like that. And they do come apart like that. Next thing is pop your lock for your throttle body. Make sure it's out of the way. And pull up. This is going to have your air filters, one on each side. You need to change those. Takes a star bit, a couple of them around each side. Pull the filter out, replace it, pop them back in. So let's see if we can zoom in. Okay, so you have 3 spark plugs, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. First thing you need to do is to get your torque bit. Get your Torx bits, and you are going to be using, I believe it's a T30. Yes. So you got a T30. And I always start on the left side. And always be careful when you pull these out. Make sure you have a firm grip on them, because if they drop beside the head somewhere, good luck in trying to find them. You want to push down on this lock right here and unlock the coil pack and unplug it. Now, only do 1 of these at a time. Do not try to be NASCAR and do 3 and 4 of them. There is a possibility that you can mix the wiring up for your coil packs and you will have a misfire. So I do 1 at a time. Just my preference over years of doing this. And like I said, be very careful with these Torx screws. If you drop one, unless you're on a good white surface, you're not going to find it. I set mine up on the rain tray for the windshield. And you just wiggle this, and there you go. That's your coil pack. Now, that's nice. Take your plug socket, loosen it first. And that's what the plug looks like coming out of number 1 cylinder. Doesn't look too bad. Okay, so spark plugs I'm using are double iridium. I'm not sponsored by these guys. I just chose these because they are double iridium. And they are supposed to come pre-gapped from the factory. So that tells me there should be like a little boot over top of the threads, like that. And that protects your gap so that you don't have to worry about it getting bent and out of shape. So I don't know, let me see if I can get this close. Kind of hard to tell, but there's an iridium piece on the top of the ground strap, and then there's one inside the core, so that will give you better spark. Now, when you go to thread these back in, do not use a ratchet, do not use an air ratchet, do not use a cordless ratchet. Thread them in by hand like I'm doing now, because if you don't, you can cross thread them, and that's an aluminum block. Same goes for not. Do not do this when the engine is cold or hot. I'm sorry. And you only need them a little over finger tight, because again, that is aluminum. And if you cross thread it or you strip the threads, you're going to end up pulling the valve cover, the cams, and getting down into the head with a rethreader. And it's not fun. So I do not suggest trying to do this when the engine's hot. So you push the coil pack back down in. One screw here. And everybody seems to think that Mercedes Benz is so hard to work on, but they're not. I mean, granted, there are some things that are a pain. You got to take, for example, this Mercedes here is the new generation 3.0. When Mercedes had a balance shaft issue, it would the balance shaft, the teeth on it, would basically wear away prematurely, and you would get a misfire. You would get where your cams are not in alignment, exhaust and intake, and what would happen then is you'd have poor fuel economy, and if it was left alone and not dealt with, you could possibly actually destroy the whole motor. So this is the one where I think it's from 06, I think it is, to 06 to 11, that had the balance shaft issue. Mercedes went in for the 2012 year and redid everything. All right, push your cable back on and push your lock back in. Okay, so on to the next one. Let's see if we see any that are actually bad, because I have had in this car a minor periodic vibration, and I replaced the transmission mount, and I have looked and tested out the engine mounts, and the engine mounts are fine. I replaced the transmission mount, and I still have it. So there's a few things that it could be that I'm not 100% on what's causing it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the next video is going to be replacing the secondary air pump, and I'm going to replace the cam magnets and the cam magnets and the cam position sensors. So those will be the next videos that I do. And I just noticed that this actual coil pack on the bottom down here, the bottom screw holding the coil pack in, wasn't even tightened up. So I'll make sure that when I replace that, that it is tight as it's supposed to be. So I don't want to use this long extension as it is too long. And then, yeah, we'll just drop that down in there. Now, I usually will, like I said, break them loose. And this one don't look too bad either. Oh, and by the way, this is a 5/8 socket, but in the old days, I don't know if it can zoom in on there, but there used to be a piece of rubber. We used to use 3/8 rubber hose to do this, but now they've made it to where there's a magnet in there and you don't have to worry about fighting with trying to get the spark plug in and out. So as you can see, this one doesn't look too bad either. I think these plugs were replaced according to the app that I use that tells me everything I need to know about this Mercedes from the day that it was manufactured to the day that I bought it. It had the plugs changed at 93,000 miles, I think it was. And it now has 169, and it's recommended that you change these plugs about every 50 to 60,000 miles. So the app does not tell me that there was any other spark plug changes. So I will be adding this to the app, and I don't want to do that. It's too tight for fingers. There we go. Okay. And you see how easy that spark plug socket comes off of there. If you had the one with the rubber hose, it wouldn't be coming off so easy. So now you push this back down in. I always start with a screw on the top like this, and the reason for that is that it's easier to reach than it is to get the bottom one in, and I want to be very careful with this one. Now, in this situation, you can actually use your ratchet to tighten these up, even if they're not fully threaded. So let's see here. So I will do this side here, and that'll be the end of the video, because of course, you know, you're going to do the same thing on all three plugs on the other side. So again, take your plug, push it all the way back in, and then push your lock in. So we'll do one more together, and then that will be the end until the next video. And I will let you know when I get done with this side here. When I get done with all six, I'll come back to the video and I'll let you know if that resolved my my little vibration at idle. It's really weird, but I do know that the secondary air pump and things like that do have a tendency of causing a vibration. So now I'm going to switch from this extension to a smaller one so I can get to this back side. So this one here is the one that I'm most concerned about being an issue when it comes out, because of course, you know, I'm on a grassy area, and if it falls down there, boy oh boy. Now you can use a small tip screwdriver like this when you're in tight spots to try and ease back the plug, but you don't want to force it. There. Well, that's not good. And I think I found my problem. So I believe that is my problem. Found my vibration issue. This plug back here is not hitting because whoever did the plugs on this last time, I will look on my app and find out, they apparently yanked the plug off without unlocking it. And as soon as I can get this off, I'm going to show you what happened, because as I unlocked it and I started pulling against it, the whole plug came out, and that is not good. So I think what I'm going to do is order me all 6 coil packs, and hopefully I can get them in fairly quick. Yeah, see, this one here is being a problem. Come on. All right, we are there. All right, so let's pull this out. So that's what happened. So apparently they broke that off in their attempt to try and change the plugs before. And I want to say that it was a dealer that did it. I'm going to look and find out exactly who it was. Not that they're going to do anything about it, but something's just telling me that that was giving me a slight vibration from the coil not getting a proper contact. I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to pull that thing off of there, because being that today is Sunday, there's nowhere I can go to get a coil pack. So this one looks a little wet. That's telling me right there, being that it's wet, it's telling me it's not burning fuel all the way. See, if you remember, the other two that I pulled out were black with carbon. So that means this cylinder is not firing all the time. And it smells like gasoline. I'm going to set this one off to the side and pull this one out. And like I said, hopefully hopefully I'll be able to fix it temporarily until I can order all 6, because before I started to do this job, there was just something telling me that I needed to go ahead and order all the coil packs, and I don't know why I didn't. Again, you know, you would think that somebody that works on Mercedes Benz for a living would take pride in their work, but I guess there's just some people that don't. So let me tighten this one up. Okay, I'm gonna get back to you here in a minute. I'm gonna see if I can't get that plug out of that coil. I'll be back with you in a minute. Okay, I'm back. So what I have found is that the coil pack itself has got a fiberglass fitting where all the pins come out, and apparently when they did the last spark plug change, I don't know how they did it, but somehow they managed to push on this, I think, a little too hard, and it broke the fiberglass cap that comes out that encompasses all of the 4 wires, 4 pins that come out of it. So that tells me that I'm going to say 99% chance that's my problem, because that's supposed to be a really nice fit. That's why they have the push pin lock on there, and apparently with the engine or the pins not making proper contact, the cylinder's not firing correctly. So that's definitely going to be one of the problems, if not the entire problem. So I will end up getting a coil pack, if not later today. I really don't want to buy just one. I like to buy a set. Okay. So that's my problem child, I think. And that's the video. Of course, you know, when you're done, you're going to put your cover back up. Make sure that this, if you have one, a lot of people have them they get lost, or people will take them out for who knows what reason. Make sure that the cover is set really well on here. When you do that, you can reach around here. Matter of fact, you know what? I'm just going to pause the video for right now. I'm going to go ahead and do the other 3 sides, and I will show you how to put this all back together. So I'll be back in a short.